Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Minnesota Home and Garden. It is the end of August. That means it's State Fair week, which is kind of exciting and sad at the same time, because that means summer's coming to an end and we're walking into fall. But one of the best things about fall is a couple things. We get to harvest the end of year crops of potatoes. We have sweet corn that's finally ready to pick today. Not all of it, but some of it's ready. And it's kind of a jungle in here, so why don't you just join me a little bit? We'll kind of crawl in. I'll kind of show you how you know. First off, you'll want to make sure all the silks are pretty dry, just like this. So that's a sign number one. Then what you're going to want to do, and if you're curious what we grew this year, it's new. It's incredible sweet corn. Then you're just going to pull it down just like this, just a little bit, and you're going to look for some yellow kernels, and you're going to just poke it with your finger, and you'll see, I don't know if you can see very well, it's milky versus clear. That means the sugar content is high enough. We've had kind of a goofy year, heavy rain, much cooler temperatures, and it took a really long time for this to take off, but it's finally here. It's not like we didn't get any crop at all. And yes, we had some critters come in here. Critters are very interested in sweet corn. What we've been doing is we've actually been playing talk radio at night to try to keep the critters out. And so far it has worked. So that's my recommendation for you. So let's get harvesting. I'm just gonna pull these ears off really gently. Most of these husks actually have 2 ears. They're a little bit smaller. And I think that's because of the rain and some of the nitrogen. Corn needs a lot of nitrogen at the beginning of the harvest, and the organic way to get high nitrogen is blood meal. So we did do a coating of blood meal at the very beginning of the season, but with all the rain, some of it might have washed away a little bit. It probably could have used maybe another second coat, but you know what? We still have sweet corn, and this is really exciting, especially at an urban environment, an urban homestead where you don't have a huge space. It's pretty rad to be able to grow sweet corn. So I hand this off to my partner, Pat, see what else I can find. Look at that. This is a fantastic head. Look at that. It's heavy. Okay. And I'm just kind of twisting off the heads carefully. Most of these stalks produce 2 heads of corn, and the second smaller piece isn't completely ready yet everywhere. So we're going to be gentle and careful. And what we like to do is we do a huge corn roast. We let it cool completely. Then we cut it off the cob and we freeze them in bags, and it just cures totally perfectly. It's good fresh, of course. Incredible sweet corn. We grew it this year because it produces on average 2 to 3 ears of corn per stalk. And another reason we grew it is because it's just a great all-purpose corn. It cans well, it freezes well, and it's great for fresh eating. And so that really worked for us. Oh my gosh, look, this is, I think this is called smut. This is a fungus that grows naturally in corn that apparently is a gourmet delight. We are going to have to look into this. It must have something to do with the rain. I'm not really sure. I've never seen this before, except for the internet, so that's kind of neat. Comment below if you know what to do with that. 3 heads right here. Do we get them all? That's true. And since we have so many bean stalks and pumpkin vines growing through here, we'll probably leave our stalks up here until late fall when we're completely done harvesting. But this makes excellent compost, so definitely add it to your compost. And since I'm in here, I'm going to grab a couple tomatoes. It's kind of a forest. This is the latest we've ever gotten a tomato harvest. So how many heads of corn so far, Pat? Oh, look at this beauty. If you're watching from Minnesota, I'm curious, what kind of sweet corn do you grow? And has this been a great tomato year for you? Or are you like us and really struggling to get tomatoes? Hello. These are our pepper plants in here too from this year. As you can see, they're not even half the size as last year. They're producing. And we've got some 2 eggplants right here. They're also producing. This is the latest we've ever gotten. This is Verona cabbage. This is from Baker Creek. It's new to us this year, but we're pretty excited about that. We've got some collard greens back there. There's a little bit of insect damage. We're just going to keep the net off for now. And yes, we've got some bunny damage because we did that. But the cabbage loopers were becoming too much, and the plants were actually just getting too big. We've got, although very, very small, we've got a couple Purple Express cabbages right here. They're nice and firm, so they're ready to go. So we're hopefully going to harvest those soon. Make another batch of kimchi, which we love. Still harvesting in here. We've got a couple eggplants in the back. We've got some pole beans out there, some squash, a lot of summer squash right here that's finally taking off. This was a little bit slower this year. Take you out front because today is another big day. So besides corn, we're going to harvest our potatoes out front. And then at the very last, at our community garden, we'll harvest the very end of our regular potatoes. And that's pretty exciting. So we can't wait to see what we did out front. We used our grow bags just like last year. But we moved them out front, and we did the in-ground garden here for potatoes. And if you didn't see it already, we did a great video about that. It was our best potato year ever. And let's just do a little recap. This is our incredible sweet corn that we grew this year. And I'd say we're happy with it. We had tough weather, tough pests. This is a blessing to us. It's about 24 ears of corn in this urban environment here. I consider that a win. And we're gonna double purpose these corn stalks to help us with squash and beans. And I consider it a win. It's just a part of the gardening game, is like you're not gonna get a huge harvest of everything every year. Some things are gonna do a lot better than others, and that's okay. We've got another volunteer squash here. Pat, if you can zoom in. This is out of control. It's gone bonkers. I have no idea what type of squash this is. It might be a gourd. I have no idea. The squirrels planted it. So it's kind of a mystery until the end of the season. We'll find out. But obviously it's doing very prolific. It's kind of taken over our seating in our patio. So let's head out front and let's get going on the potatoes. We're in the front garden here. We've got our potato bags. And as you can see, these have pretty all well died off. There's a little bit of weeds, but that's it. And really, you could leave them here longer if you really wanted to, but we're ready to harvest and get curing in the basement. Last year and the other years, we had a more open space to kind of do this harvest, and that's something to kind of think about. We kind of just like dumped things out onto a tarp and sifted through for potatoes. We're gonna have to do it a little differently this time. We're gonna fill these buckets with dirt and kind of try to sift through and try to get the potatoes out from there. We're hoping for a better harvest this year because we moved locations, but also we did kind of a lasagna pattern and we layered the potatoes up as instead of just putting them all in the bottom. And we're hoping that that just provided a lot more potatoes. So we'll see. It's ragweed season big time when my allergies are terrible. Look at that, cute guy. So Kennebec potato, and we've already enjoyed quite a few of those, and they are delicious. Oh my gosh, look at this. They are perfect. Look at how perfect these are. The heavy rains were not good for blight this year. Man, they were great for potatoes and bok choy and greens. And if you saw our other video, we used a broad fork to try to carefully harvest them as much as possible. We don't really do anything too grand with our potatoes. We just kind of do compost every year and we reuse the soil. Well, we're just finished the first bucket and you can see the results here. There's a couple big ones in there. Obviously, we're going to be thankful for whatever we get, but that's a little bit disappointing and it feels like it's a lot less than last year. So let's head over to the second container and get started on that one. Okay, I think we're wrapping up the second bucket here, and this is what we ended up with. It is surprisingly a low volume compared to the in-ground garden, but you know what? This is still a blessing. This is still in addition to our winter harvest, so we're still gonna enjoy it. And those really tiny guys you see in there, those are just super fantastic on the grill. Just a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, maybe some diced up fresh rosemary, just roasted on the grill. They cook up fast. They're really good. Eat the small ones first. And yeah. So I think that's it for us today for harvesting. We want to wish you guys a great end of the season. We still have some carrots to harvest, and I'll just pull up one for you. You know, we're having a fantastic carrot season. They're really sweet. They're really tasty this year and prolific. We just don't have time. If you don't have time to harvest your carrots, you don't have to. And my trick for harvesting is to push down before you pull up so you don't break carrots that way. And they come out perfectly smooth like this. And I'll bring you over here. I would love for you to see what else we have. We have a couple of varieties out front. Ooh, look at that meaty guy. So just pull them out as needed for your recipes, etc. We'll eventually get to finishing harvesting this. Our tomatoes are slowly starting to come in. And right behind me here. They're a little bit buggy this year, but we're still gonna eat them. We'll still make applesauce. And behind this pet here is our Honeycrisp tree. And if you get closer, you'll see that quite a few of them are pretty buggy this year. We'll still harvest them as best as we can. We had a lot of chipmunks and squirrels get in here, and some pests, and you just have to do the best you can. We don't do a lot of spray here, just organic. We do an organic spray every year, usually spinosad. We might try a new multi-purpose organic spray next year, just to see if it makes a big difference. I'm curious, what are your organic methods for great apple harvest? We're really thinking about it a lot now that we're coming close to the harvest season. But yeah, we just hope you're having a great year. We appreciate you supporting this channel. We appreciate you subscribing and liking our videos. And we're just excited to share with you organic, fresh gardening, safe canning, safe preserving, and a whole lot more. So thanks for watching, and we hope to see you soon.